We're almost there. Professor Simon will give us something to eat. Thank goodness we made it. The sun's going down.
These berries look delicious.
Who is it?
Hello, my name's Brian Basco. I need to speak with Professor Simon.
The man who knows does not speak.
What? Excuse me, are you James Simon? Please, listen. I have a very important message for you.
Not interested.
Hey! I think I forgot to mention you have to say a password before I let you in.
A password? Of course you didn't say anything. Let's see. What could that darn password be? And quit eating those berries. They could be poisonous. Hey, leave that alone. Tell me the password once and for all.
You see, Professor Simon will say who knows what about the man who knows. And you have to answer him. Yes, you must tell him. Oh dear, I'm feeling dizzy.
I knew those berries would make you feel sick. Come on, just make a bit of an effort to remember the password and you'll be able to recover inside the professor's house.
I believe it was something like... Oh no, I'm sorry. I can't remember.
It's all right, calm down. When we were coming up here, I saw a shelter by a lake. We'll go up there, and I'm sure you'll remember that password after a bit of rest. Come on, I'll help you. Joshua, the fire is already lit. You rest and try to get over this as fast as possible. You've got to remember that darn password. Maybe you should try to do something about this. Who knows how long it'll take Joshua to recover. If I insist, maybe Professor Simon will let me into his house. By the way, when we were walking down to the shelter, we saw a pretty strange guy. He was wearing this humongous fur coat and taking pictures or something. It looks like the ideal log. Not too wet and not too dry. I'll take one piece of firewood. Oh, it weighs so much I can't imagine taking them all. Cool item. Granny used to have one just like it. Okay, if there's any oil inside, I might be able to use it. Looks like it's not full, but there's a little bit inside. I'll take it. The blade's a little rusty. With this humid climate, I'm hardly surprised. I'll take it, but I hope I don't have to use it on anyone. In that condition, it may not cut anyone, but it'll give them a nasty infection. Well, I guess it's for the best. I'll attempt to go find help to get us out of this crazy mess. Looks like a gas tank. Okay. Too bad. It's empty. I'll go see if I can find the guy I saw coming toward here. Hello there, my friend.
Hello.
My name is Brian.
Wazowski. Ben Wazowski.
Pleased to meet you, Ben. I couldn't stop to say hi before because I had to take my friend to that shelter down there.
Yeah, I saw you too. What? So you needed to warm up a bit and you went overboard on the whiskey, huh?
No, not at all. He was fine until he ate some berries from a shrub.
Some big red juicy berries that look like cherries?
Yeah, those are the ones.
Don't say another word. I bet he's dizzy, has muscle aches, a hallucination, short-term memory loss.
Exactly. How did you know?
I've been observing the behavior of bears for years, and I see how they react when they ingest those berries, which they love, by the way. I myself have tried them on occasion for experimental purposes. The effects take several days to pass, unless...
Unless what?
Salmon.
Salmon?
Yes, salmon. Eating salmon practically counteracts all the effects of those berries. I myself have experienced it.
Well, that's good news. So I just have to get my friend to eat some salmon and it'll go back to normal?
Yep, that's it. Well, but there's a little detail you have to know.
What?
The salmon will only work if he eats it raw. In my earliest experiments, I tried cooking one over a fire with some W ketchup as a condiment and freedom fries as a side dish, but it was no good. Tasted fantastic, but it wouldn't counteract the effects of those berries. At first, I thought there was some difference between humans and bears' digestive systems, but then I got the idea to eat it raw, like a bear.
And what happened?
It was completely different. It tasted much better on the grill.
I meant about the effect of the berries.
Oh yeah, they completely disappeared.
Listen, Ben.
What's on your mind?
Impressive costume.
Well, it isn't exactly a costume. It's actually a bear suit, but I haven't finished it.
Well, like I was saying, a bear costume.
I don't like you calling it that. Makes it sound like it's not serious. Costume sounds like it's for a party, and these are my work clothes. Actually, it has more in common with a camouflaged uniform, more than a mere bear suit.
Yeah, now that you mention it, you're right. But the only bears with glasses that I can remember were in a fairy tale book.
No siree, I wear them because I'm as blind as a bat. Plus, the bear suit is incomplete. I asked the guy from the pizzeria in Sicily, the closest city to here, to order it from the same website he bought his moose suit at, but they sent it without the head. And so I asked myself, what is a bear without a head?
I don't know. The extra part of a hunting trophy?
No, my friend. A bear suit is the same as a certain death. If I make my way into the pack looking like this, the bears will say, that one there, he isn't one of us. And whammy, they'll pounce on me, rip my head off with their paws. So I have to postpone my plans until they send me the missing head.
So, how did you get into bears?
I used to play ice hockey on a pro team. You know, we go on a tour throughout Asia every summer. But one day, after a big fight, that left me in a daze. I got sick of it all. I escaped from the hospital, went home, started surfing channels, and without realizing it, I watched a whole movie about a bear that danced with bananas on its head. Afterward, they put on a French movie about an orphan bear. I cried my eyes out. Then, I took a walk to get some fresh air, and I ran right into a billboard that showed a polar bear enjoying a soft drink. I got thirsty, so I tried to go into a coffee shop, but some doormen came out in these strange leather outfits, and they said, "Out of here, man. This place is for bears only." What a world, huh? 2 hours later, I grabbed my suitcases, hopped on a plane, and came to Alaska in search of my destiny.
So, have you been living here for very long?
Pal, it's been a few good years, but I couldn't tell you how many. Somewhere I have that deed from when I bought the house from the ranger. Maybe it has the date if you're that interested.
Seems like a nice place to live, as long as you like being alone.
Lonely, you say. No, amigo, no. Bears are unbeatable companions, much better than most people. Then there's Satch, who brings me pizza once in a while, and we play Parcheesi together. Plus, some folks just randomly show up, like you today. Have you seen that little plaque I have in my room? Some Spanish fisherman who passed through less than a year ago gave me that.
So, even though you have your work with the bears, don't you ever get bored?
Idleness is the tool of the devil, Brian, and I don't have time for him. The few free moments I have for myself, I spend drinking some beer from my keg or playing the guitar for a spell. Since I know nothing about music, I have a great time making funky noises.
About what you said regarding your costume.
It's a bear suit, Brian. A bear suit.
Those claws on that backpack look pretty realistic.
Ah, but the claws are the most important part of the bear. They are used for defense and for fishing salmon during the season when they swim upstream. Well, that's what my book says anyway. I want to prove a revolutionary theory, though. What is that theory, you ask? Well, sorry, but I can't tell you. You look like a nice guy, but who knows if you'll go sell the story to National Geographic afterward. Nope, my friend, I'm sorry, but I can't.
Could you repeat what you said about bears fishing with their claws, please?
Well, my friend, that's the simplest thing in the world. First, they look for a hole in the ice, or they make one themselves. Then, they wait for a salmon to swim by, and bam! They dip in those claws and tear one out of the water. I've tried it a couple of times, but I'm just not talented at it. I'm more into fishing with a pole.
Could you show me how to fish like a bear?
I'd be delighted to, but I'm way too busy. Plus, I only understand it on a theoretical level, like I said. Practice makes perfect, they say, but my schedule is full.
What time of year do the salmon swim back upstream?
Oh, it lasts almost half the year, from mid-spring to well into the fall, so the river is teeming with them now. But be careful with that ice, 'cause it can crack. And some careless bears have ended up at the bottom of the river.
I hope you can prove your theory as soon as possible.
Well, I'm on the verge. Everyone believes bears scratch their backs against trees because they itch. But it isn't true. Look, we humans didn't discover the properties of birch sap until 20 years ago, and they've known for centuries. And that's as far as I can read.
Could I borrow a fishing pole?
I could if I had one. But the last time I went fishing, I accidentally pricked a cub in his private parts with a fishhook. I don't think it did him much harm, but boy was he mad. He chased after me till he wore out. We ran in circles for hours around Professor Simon's house. When I got back to the river, my fishing pole was gone. I never saw it again.
What really shocks me is your bear costume.
There you go again. Didn't I tell you it isn't a costume?
What will you do when you finish making the bear suit?
What am I going to do? Infiltrate the group and demonstrate my theory about... No, I better not tell you. Anyway, I'll be joining the den of bears, and they'll think I'm one of them. Will the suit be good enough, you're asking? Oh, no. But I can pass it off if I put some bear essence perfume on first. I make it myself.
Bear essence? Don't tell me you liquefy bears to make perfume.
No, pal. I make the essences using bear droppings. I won't be so rude as to explain all of their bodily fluids, hairs, and the solid waste they produce. But I will tell you, I need gloves and my hockey mask to gather it all up.
How many kinds of bear essences do you have?
I have essences of newborn cub, she-bear in heat, Republican bear, ferocious bear, Buddhist bear, myopic bear, honey-loving bear, papa bear, the bear by the strawberry tree, an ant-eating bear, a bear with a gastric disorder. Oh no, sorry, I drank that one on accident. Intellectual bear, and who knows how many more.
More than the essences? What I like is your costume.
But will you never learn to call my suit by its proper name?
I have nothing against bears, Ben, but your lecture about them was a little over my head.
No, man, don't you worry. We all have our little flaws.
Do you know Professor Simon?
The guy in the big house up there? Not very well. I've seen him hiking around from time to time, and once in a while I walk by his house, but we haven't chit-chatted much. I think he's kind of a loner.
By the way, you wouldn't happen to know the password to get into Professor Simon's house, would you?
Password? What I usually say is, "Hey, Chow, I've come for my weekly package." Then I go in, grab the package of bear food the cook makes me, and hasta la vista. You may be asking yourself now, sure, it's for the bears and not for good old Ben himself? Well, it is. It's for the bears, and I can't believe you think that of me.
Could you tell me if there's more than one door leading into his house?
I can assure you it's not true. The wall goes around the perimeter of the house, and the only gate is the one by the intercom. I'm telling you, I went all the way around it with a mad bear in hot pursuit. Behind me.
You think they'd open up if I pretended I was you?
Since there's a camera as well as the intercom, and it wouldn't be good enough just to say you're me, I get the idea you're asking yourself. Will Ben lend me his bear suit so I can pass for him? Well, let me make things clear. The bear suit is sacred, and I don't lend it to anyone for anything in the world.
I think I can sneak into the house if I hide while you talk on the intercom.
You had a stroke of bad luck. I only get in thanks to the cook, but I saw him heading for Sicily this morning, like he always does on his day off. And he won't be back until at least tomorrow morning.
Getting back to what I was saying.
Yes.
Getting back to the topic of those berries and the salmon,
Uh-huh.
what did you say the effect of those berries was?
I don't know which ones I already mentioned, but they include dizziness, weak muscles, short-term memory loss, hallucinations, regressing back to your childhood.
Tell me how the salmon works as an antidote to the berry-induced intoxication again.
Actually, it's no big secret. You grab a raw salmon and chow down. End of story. You instantly get your memory back, your headache goes away, and on top of it all, you feel as giddy as if you'd had one whiskey too many.
Thanks, Ben, but I think you've told me all I need to know.
Okay, pal. What more can I do you for?
Forget it. Get back to your work.
Okie dokie. You know where to find me. If you don't see me around here, it's because I'm at home. You'll recognize the house. It's a typical ranger's cabin, raised several yards off the ground. Come by whenever you want. That way, you can try my homemade beer.
Thanks, Ben. See you around.
Okay.
What an unusual plant. I wonder what it's called. I can't take the whole plant. I'd have to uproot it and kill it. But I will take one leaf. I'll take it to my pal Rutger. He'll think it's way cool. I'm gonna go check on Joshua. I'm not surprised he communicates with aliens. With that bizarre face, I have a hard time believing he's even human. He is like totally out of it. I'll have to find some way to make him come to. Maybe a good slap would do the trick. Joshua, wake up!
No, Mommy. Please let me sleep 5 more minutes. Please. I was dreaming I was a super friend, and I was eating berries in the mountains of Alaska with Dorothy and Toto. It was so beautiful.
You have to remember that password, Joshua!
But I already told you the password, and I know it was the right one because Auntie Em said so. You have to let me in. Plus, that treehouse is mine. And if you put your dirty mitts on my Space 1999 trading cards, you'll feel my wrath.
Man, your zipper's open. I can see your Woody.
Daddy, no. I didn't kill little Woody. I swear. He flew into the path of my self-propelled intergalactic rocket on purpose. To break it. That woodpecker hated me, Daddy. The other day, he started pecking away while I tried to study for my math test. Now he screwed up my science project. I hope he's happy now, cause he did. I'm going to flunk science for the first time in kindergarten.
Joshua, it's me, Brian, your friend.
Nice to meet you, Brian. I bet you don't know what that name means. Well, I don't have a clue either. By the way, my name is Joshua, which means liberation. Boggles the mind, huh? You don't know how much love I feel inside.
Trantor's been destroyed by a huge meteor.
No! Say it isn't true!
Yeah, and the berries contain trantonite, which took away your superpowers.
Ryan, what you are saying is scientifically impossible. So stop making things up. While I am flattered that you think I have superpowers, you must be wrong. My superior smarts weren't created by any supernatural device. They're just due to the bubbling mix of supercharged genes that gave me an extra large brain. Now, I won't deny that Trantor has sublimated my ripped mental muscles, but I've been a genius since I was a kid. Pretty cool stuff, huh? You know I built a rocket that pierced through the Earth's stratosphere when I was only 8? Well, it would have anyway, if it hadn't been for that fine feathered kamikaze. Stupid air rat.
Sorry, Joshua, I was just kidding. Actually, the government expropriated it and demolished it to build an intergalactic freeway.
Oh, the cruelty, Brian! That is not funny.
Okay, so I was lying. The truth is that Trantor was chosen worst dressed planet of the millennium, but I didn't know how to tell you.
But where do those two-bit critics get their taste? For your information, Trantor has been exporting its stylish garments to hundreds of planets, including Earth. Who do you think designed Boney M's outfits anyway? And what about the Power Rangers? The human species would still be wearing loincloths if it weren't for Trantorian designers, I'm telling ya.
Nothing's happened to Trantor. You just need to eat some raw salmon to remember the password.
Raw salmon? A lunatic wouldn't eat that.
You have to do it. It's completely necessary.
Well, guess what? I'm not gonna.
Not even with some W ketchup and freedom fries?
Yuck! I can't stand ketchup. What I really like doesn't go with salmon. I'm more of a fiend for chocolate, shakes, vanilla ice cream, donuts, peanut butter, apple pie, maple syrup, caramel smoothies.
Is there no way to convince you?
No, Brian. I am a civilized person, a decent Tranto-Japanese American, and I don't eat raw animals. You think I'm some sort of polar bear?
What did you say you are? A Tranto what?
Tranto-Japanese American. A resident of Trantor, of Japanese origin, born in the United States. Quite a mix, isn't it?
Japanese? So you do have some Japanese blood in you?
Of course, what do you think? My ancestors were samurais. I believe my grandpa's the one who came to the States, but I haven't really studied the family tree.
Well, if you're Japanese whatever, you must love sushi, right?
Oh, hi, Brianson. Mackerel, tuna, halibut, octopus. It's almost the only gourmet food I enjoy, besides desserts.
What about salmon? Do you dig salmon sushi?
Well, if there's nothing else swimming around, yeah, I'll eat it with pleasure. By the way, did I mention I'm dying of starvation?
I'll get you a salmon, or my name's not Brian. Don't you worry, you'll be getting ready for the most delicious plate of sushi you've ever had in a jiffy.
Oh dear, Brian. We geniuses don't cook. If nobody's around to make our meals, we just order out for pizza or bite our nails. But under no circumstances would we waste any time on something as mundane as cooking.
Wow, he was hard to convince, but this is better than nothing. I have no choice but to look for someone who will teach me to make salmon sushi. Listen, Ben.
What's on your mind?
You wouldn't happen to know how to make sushi, would you?
Well, as you guessed, I don't know how. And go figure, because I've been to Japan a couple of times, but I know nothing beyond traditional cooking. In steak with mashed potatoes, I have eyes for nothing more.
And I'm assuming you don't have a book with the recipe for salmon sushi?
For sushi? Not as I recall. But if you want, I have a great one for grilled salmon. I could win the Iron Chef with that recipe, especially if the salmon's fresh.
Do you know anyone in this area who knows how to make it?
If anyone would know about that, it's Professor Simon's cook. I think he's from China, somewhere around there. But today, here's his day off, so I doubt you'll find him around. Well, then there's Archibald, but if I were you, I wouldn't want to meet him.
Archibald? Who's that?
Some say he's either Bigfoot, a serial killer, a 200-pound gremlin, or a war criminal. People say the darndest things. Satch, the pizza guy from Sicily, says he saw him a short while back. He was coming to deliver some pizzas to me when he heard a noise in the back of his pickup. When he got out, he saw a running shadow and chased it until he lost sight of it. When he returned to the pickup, they'd stolen the pizzas and opened up the engine. He couldn't get the pickup started, so he had to leave it around here somewhere. He's sure it was Archibald, but actually it could have been anybody.
Do you know what Archibald looks like?
The last thing I heard is he's 6'7", has a flat head, green skin, and a body full of scars.
Do you have any idea how I can find him?
No, pal. You don't find Archibald. He finds you. You may be asking yourself, why is Ben saying that? Well, because that's what happened to me. Not once, but twice.
So, you say you've seen Archibald?
No, amigo. I didn't tell you I had seen him, but that I'd been with him. As for seeing him the way I see you now, never.
What happened the first time you met Archibald?
The first time? Oh yeah, it was Christmas Eve. I picked up my guitar, went out on the balcony, sipped down a mug of beer, and started singing A Christmas Carol. I hadn't finished the first bar when I felt a sharp object in my back, as a whispering voice told me,
John Lennon sang Christmas carols much better than you, and look where he ended up. Your end may be much more cruel and imaginative.
I stopped playing and asked, You're Archibald, aren't you? But there was nobody there.
What happened the second time he found you?
I was sitting here having a beer when I recognized his voice.
I'm going to give you some emergency anesthesia. If you move, I'll leave you dumber than you are now.
I felt something hit my head, and I fell to the floor. When I woke up, I saw I'd been blindfolded. Well, actually, I didn't see it, but you get my drift. I said, Where am I? Who are you? What do you want from me? I thought my kidnapper was a competing bear scientist, so I yelled, You'll never get me to tell you my theory, no matter how hard you torture me. But that wasn't the deal. He said his name was Archibald, and that he was a chef. He just invented a tarantula venom salsa, and he wanted to experiment with me to see if the venom was still poisonous after being boiled. Thank goodness it wasn't. But it was quite a laxative.
You have no clue about where his house is?
Well, no. I've scoured the area many times, but I can't ever seem to find it. I'm starting to suspect he lives in a hole, like a bunny rabbit.
Well, let's stop talking about Archibald for now.
As you wish, but don't ever call him Archie. He gets mad with rage.
Forget it. Get back to your work.
Okay.
Wow, I've never seen a completely frozen river before. I'll try not to walk across it just in case the ice breaks. That must be the cabin that Wazowski was talking about. I'll go take a look. It leads up to Wazowski's cabin. I'll just take a quick glance inside. It'd be better to leave the trapdoor open. Well, so this is what Wazowski's hidden den is like. Let's see what we can find around here. That must be quite useful if you live in the woods. I don't know. It might be a little heavy. And I'm starting to get tired of hauling junk all over the place. Though, on the other hand, this is one of those pieces of junk that could save my day at some point. Anyway, by lifting a bunch of junk like this, I won't need to join a gym. Wow, man, as far as I can see, the fuel gauge is at 0. Well, I'll grab the thing, after all that effort to get it into my pocket. Those look like perfume bottles. Newborn bear essence, pheromones of she-bear and heat, Republican bear extract. They appear to be the essences that Wazowski was talking about. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I bet some she-bear and heat pheromones could come in handy. I'll have to make sure not to spill a single solitary drop. Smelling like that goop with wild bears roaming around is the last thing I need. I thought Wazowski was pulling my leg about that hockey thing, but I guess it's true. Sure, I bet I can use it somewhere. It's as good as new. I'll try not to wreck it. A guitar! Too bad I have no idea how to play. Man, that's a great idea. If I play the right song, maybe I can get that Archibald guy to show up. The only holdup is that I have no idea how to play, but hey, it can't hurt to try. I'll step outside so I can be heard better. The light from this lamp will come in handy. Here we go.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh?
Hey, you!
Darn. Wait for me to get...
That's too bad. His nose didn't even bleed.
Can you tell me why you just tried to do me bodily harm? Forget it. I don't feel like arguing. You must be Archibald from what I've heard.
Well, you must be a moron. And from what I've heard, a worse guitar player than your father.
So, how is it you met my father?
From hearing him play on that very balcony there. Or isn't your pop that bird brain with the bears?
No, I believe you're mistaken. Wazowski's not my dad.
I'd swear you guys were family. I find it hard to believe backward evolution is widespread among humans.
Hey, he doesn't look like...
The same ape-like expression on your face, the same lack of musical knowledge, and bad taste from the look of your clothing. No, there are just too many coincidences.
Listen, Archibald, I'm warning you that...
All right then, let's look at it from a more entertaining perspective. I know a game called Give Me One Reason Why You Shouldn't Die at This Very Moment. You'd like it. The end's supposed to be a killer.
You have to help me. My friend got sick from some wild berries, and you're the only one who can whip up the antidote.
You got the wrong idea about me, mister. Even though I'm smarter than most of them, I'm not a doctor.
I've heard you're a whiz in the kitchen.
Mister, I am much, much more than that.
Where'd you learn to cook?
By cooking. How else do you think people learn? But of course, I studied at the finest schools in Paris with the greatest chefs. All I can say is, though, they learn more from me than me from them.
You must have worked in the finest restaurants, I'm sure.
Yes, all the ones they won't let the likes of you into. But I grew tired of half-baked cooks stealing my recipes and using them to get the best reviews in the Guide Michelin.
The truth is, looking at you here, it's hard to picture you in a white apron and a chef's hat.
Hey kid, I can easily picture you in a shroud lying in your coffin.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying...
Good lord, what an annoying person. If I'd known, I would have acted like a sane individual and made you swallow that bleach.
I need you to tell me how to make sushi.
I don't have to explain anything to you. Did you explain to me about the expired syrup they gave you when you were born?
Do you know Professor Simon?
The best thing I can say about him is, I hardly know him. He doesn't bother me with nonsense, and he doesn't make a bunch of noise with a guitar. The guy is nice and quiet in his mansion. Doesn't bug anyone or show his face. Now that I think about it, I kinda like him.
I have money. If you help me out, I'll pay whatever you want.
Well, obviously there had to be something good about you. But I'm warning you, I don't come cheap. And I don't work for scraps.
Are you sure you can't teach me to make sushi?
I've mastered the art of cuisine, but I hate the world of education. You want to learn a trade, commit a crime, and sign up for a vocational course in prison. When they let you out, you'll know something useful other than fishing soap chips out of urinals, and you'll no longer be a parasite to society.
You charge that much for your services?
Price is a relative concept, kid. It depends who asks me, what they want, when they need it, and more than anything, what side of the bed I woke up on.
Are you familiar with making salmon sushi?
Does the Pope pray? Kid, you stand before the former chef of Japan's Imperial Palace, the man who introduced the West to sushi, tempura, and sake. And if that's the dish you want, it won't cost you a cent.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, because I can refuse to make it for you. I only work my cooking magic when I'm given each and every one of the proper ingredients, and I'm missing some essentials for sushi.
What ingredients go in sushi?
I don't see why I should tell you, but okay. It contains rice, nori algae, soy sauce, wasabi, ginger, a touch of sugar, a dash of salt, and in this case, salmon.
Which ingredients are you missing?
The salmon to start with, the nori, the wasabi. No, I guess I could achieve a similar effect if I mixed Dijon mustard with apple vinegar and some mint toothpaste. I think I have some soy sauce and ginger around here, so that would be it. Well, I don't have any chopsticks either, or a bamboo mat for rolling up the maki sushi.
I'm not 100% sure of all the ingredients that you're missing, but I could try to find them somewhere around here.
You don't know what the salmon, nori, chopsticks, and bamboo mat look like? Your lack of culinary culture is at par with your IQ. Look around if you want, but I doubt you'll find them all.
Getting back to what you were saying,
You really like to analyze things in depth.
if we were to get all of the ingredients, how much would you charge me to make one dish of sushi?
That depends, kid. How much have you got?
My first thought is I have nothing. Will that be enough? Hey, did you hear me? I said I don't have anything on me.
If you have nothing to offer, I have nothing to say, and of course nothing to make for you. Can't you get that into your head?
Well, I do have a state-of-the-art cell phone with a 3CCD camera. It also hooks up to the net by WAP, has an MP3 player, a hairdryer, a GPS tracker, and a C3PO universal translator.
A phone? Who would I want to talk to? Plus, the cameras in cell phones can be activated by remote control, and the CIA guys are no dummies. I'd rather keep an eye on you, just in case one day your idiocy grows to dangerous levels.
It's not about what I have on me, but rather what you'll be taking away with you. I will make you the recipient of my eternal gratitude, my lifelong friendship, and my unconditional love.
Save it for when you try to hook up at AA or the Salvation Army or wherever you end up rotting. I only want money, or you can take your god-awful music elsewhere.
I think I've got about $1,000. Is 50 okay?
No, 1,000 will do for me. It's a done deal, kid. You get the salmon, the mat for rolling up the sushi, the chopsticks, and the algae. And I'll take care of the rest.
Are you ready? My questions are somewhat personal.
Well, in that case, we could start playing our old game again. But backward. Every time you open your mouth, you give me another reason to feel sorry for your pathetic self and put an end to your sorry, meaningless existence. Considering the vegetative state of your brain, it would be a true act of euthanasia.
Are you barefoot because you don't own any shoes? Or did you make some sort of vow?
Is that what you think? Well then, let's just say I made a promise never to reveal why I go barefoot. Go figure that one out, kid.
It looks like your shower isn't working right. Or your washing machine, for that matter.
You're calling me a pig, aren't you? Well, get over it. I smell like myself, like a human being. In other words, what I'm supposed to smell like. If I'm not mistaken, you smell like body milk, shaving mousse, aloe vera gel, conditioner, artificial aromas B303, F507, and H452, along with any perfume made from camel sweat that happens to be in fashion. Conclusion, the only dirty pig here is you, and you spent a fortune to get that way on top of it.
Wazowski says you hit him, blindfolded him, and gave him tarantula venom.
Wazowski is an imbecile. He was so drunk he fell down the stairs in his own house, so I threw him over my shoulder and dragged him back up. I put a wet rag on his forehead and eyes to lower his fever, but the guy started to get delirious and spewed a bunch of nonsense about his theory on bears. Then I made him a nice broth out of Terra brachula, a harmless brachiopod, and left him sleeping. The rest is a product of his moronic imagination.
Do you know Wazowski's theory about why bears scratch themselves?
I'm not just familiar with it. The theory is actually mine. I'm the one who discovered that female bears in heat scratch birch trees to get the sap out. It's as sweet as honey and can be used to make syrup. I noticed that right afterward, they rub their back against the tree to get all covered in it. Then a bear comes along, smells her back, gets on top of her to enjoy the delicacy, and well, nature takes care of the rest. But I don't care about Wazowski stealing the theory from me. I'm used to that kind of thing. Plus, the poor devil has to get some kind of enjoyment.
I think we should talk about more important things, Archibald.
I shudder to think what type of things are important to you.
Thanks, Archibald. I'll be seeing you.
That's a true threat, coming from you.
But how will I find you?
Just whistle. if you know how. But
Thanks.
you'd better not bother me without a good reason.
This feels like one of those old movies. If I whistle, he'll come running. What a nut! Great. The important thing is to focus on getting the ingredients this guy needs to make the sushi for me. It's occurred to me that this leaf I picked up for Rutger could be used as nori. What a relief. One less thing to worry about. It's not the most ideal tool, but if I cut it in just the right spot, maybe I could carve something resembling chopsticks. Well, it can't hurt to try. Look at that. I did a pretty good job. I'm not sure what it is, but it has East Asian characters on it. Bright idea. I could use it as a mat to roll up the sushi. It'll be easier to carry if I roll it up. Okay, let's go on out. That's the bottle that zany chef tossed at me. Multi-purpose bleach. Yeah, I think I've earned it. It isn't full, but there's quite a bit left. Luckily, it's closed tight and didn't break when that nutcase threw it at me. It's a clear plastic tube. This kind of thing always seems to prove handy. I'll take it. In the end, it's the simple things in life that turn out to be the most useful. I always liked pickups, but they're prettier in just one color. This is gonna leave a gross aftertaste, but oh well. Yuck! Talk about needing a mint. It isn't full, but that should do. It's the mascot of a pizzeria. How appropriate for this region. According to the label, it runs on a mixture of gas and oil. I'll just approximate the amount of oil. Maybe it's my lucky day. Well, now my little mixture is all ready. Well, let's hope I made the mixture with the right proportions. Yes! It works! But I better turn it off for the time being. Hey, that might be a good idea. I know a guy who could be interested in that head. It's not exactly a bear head, but anyway. Now that I think of it, if I took off the antlers, it would look pretty much the same, wouldn't it? Okay, let's flex that muscle. Much better, yeah. Great idea! I'll make a hole in the ice. Let's get to work. Perfect. Euclid couldn't have drawn a better circle. Dude! Phew! I thought he was coming after me. Looks like he just wanted to use the hole to fish in, though. I'll have to come up with a way to shoo him off. Okay, let's check out the results. It's a little stinky, but now it looks a lot more like the head of a polar bear. Yeah, great idea. The knife's not very sharp, but I could use it to cut a lengthwise strip which could then be lifted like a visor. That way, whoever puts the head on can see where they're walking. Done. Hope it works. All right, I'll leave it on top of his backpack to give him a surprise. There we go. Ben!
What's up, amigo?
Surprise, my friend. Look what you've got in your backpack.
The head of a bear? Very well done, but what variety of polar bears does that head belong to? I can't seem to place it.
Well, it's actually from a moose.
A moose polar bear? Not familiar with that species, but I've never been to a moose myself. Where's that located? Anyway, I don't think there's much of a difference between polar bear species anyway.
Of course not. The time has come, Ben. Now that your disguise is complete, you can totally infiltrate the inner core of the bear community without a fear. And what better way to begin than by trying to fraternize with that bear down there, fishing in the frozen river?
Yeah, why not? I've been observing that specimen for some time, and it may be a good contact to start with. It's a youthful cub whose growth isn't complete. Though, you can never trust them. They can rip your head off with one swipe of the claw. Well then, the moment of truth has arrived.
Come on, buddy. I know you can do it.
Here we go! A touch of ferocious bear essence will help too.
Yes, now that Wazowski is gone, I can do it without getting caught. I hope Wazowski doesn't notice.
I don't know what could have gone wrong. I was unable to get as far as the bear. No sooner did he see me than he whipped out his claws, showed off his fangs, and prepared to jump me.
Listen, Ben.
What's on your mind?
It seems like such a waste for you to keep on observing from afar, when you could be with that bear down there.
Are you sure it isn't too risky, Brian? It looked like it wanted to disembowel me before.
No, man. The thing is he got scared because you were standing up.
Now that you mention it, of course. He must have thought I wanted to fight, so he got angry.
I'm sure there wouldn't be any problem if you got on all fours.
You think so? Well, I'll try again.
That's the spirit, Ben.
My pod friend, here comes Benjamin Wazowski.
Come on, buddy. I know you can do it.
Here we go.
A touch of ferocious bear essence will help too.
Something tells me Wazowski's gonna be a success this time. They vanished into the woods. Oh, the humanity, it was terrifying. Wazowski's face was like an open book, especially at the beginning. But then, I don't know how to describe it. Well, I hope he's happy in his new life. The important thing is that love conquered all. Wazowski must have dropped it during his little, office meeting. I'd have to walk across the ice, which, isn't on my itinerary. Yeah, I think I can reach it. Let me see if I can. I'll return it to Wazowski if he shows up around here. In that ice-cold water? No, better to go without a salmon than to freeze my hand off. Hey, good idea. I'll try to copy the bear. Let's see if I can do it as well as he does. The stick is so smooth and flat that as soon as I touched the salmon, it slipped off and swam away. Yeah, that looks like a good imitation bear claw. Quite promising. Look out, salmon, here I come. Okay, let's hope my idea works now. Unbelievable! I never would have imagined it to be so easy. Took some work, but I've got it at last. One perfect specimen of an Alaskan salmon. Well, maybe my chef can get to work with the things I've gathered. Look, I brought everything you wanted to make the sushi. And I have the cash, too. Do you mind if I ask you something, Archibald? $1,000 is a bit steep for a plate of sushi. I think it's only fair that you lower your price a bit.
Whatever you say. But if we lower the price, it's only fair that we lower the quality too. So, in the end, I get less than $1,000. Then you get a dish of sushi with no fish, no rice, and whatever I feel like sticking in. It depends on how well you can take another bottle in your face.
Will you take long to prepare the sushi? Where will you leave it?
How long is it going to take you to learn not to stick your nose into other people's work? It'll be ready when it's ready, mister. I doubt you'll understand, but let me try to explain. If you come here and the sushi's nowhere to be seen, then it's not ready. But if you come and see a plate of sushi, that means it's done. Did you comprehend that?
Yeah, but if you leave it out here, some animal might come by and eat it.
Maybe you could leave it upstairs, inside the house.
Never. That house stinks like bear pee, which would ruin the sushi's aroma.
Wouldn't it be better for me to come get the sushi at your place?
Don't even dream about it, kid. As far as you're concerned, I'm homeless.
It might be safer if you leave it right in the shelter where my friend is waiting.
Well, well. Mama's boy is requesting a delivery service. If that's what you want, call up Sicily and order a pizza. They're gross. You'll love them.
I said please, Archibald. Take the sushi to the shelter for me.
All right, but favors have a price. That'll cost you more.
That's impossible. I gave you all I have.
That's nice to know. Tonight I shall dine on sushi as I ask myself where the $1,000 in my pocket came from.
What more do you want? The clothes off my back?
Kid, only one thing would gross me out more than wearing your disgusting, oversized baby clothes. Having to see you naked as you hand it over to me.
I don't know what else I can give you.
Let me think. If I'm not mistaken, you have a cell phone on you, right?
Yeah, but it cost me a fortune.
I was thinking I could resell it, but forget it. I'll take you the sushi in exchange for you leaving me alone and getting out of here for good.
My sincere thanks, Archie.
Archie? You have the balls to call me Archie? What do you think we are, relatives? Or do you think you have the right to insult my parents' good taste with your tacky nicknames?
Sorry, Archie,
Not again! You little... All right, give me the cell phone. The cell phone, or the deal's off.
All right, if there's no other choice. At the shelter, okay?
If I'd known you were trying to feed the village people's blind cousin, I'd be preparing, making the sushi with your eyeballs. And if you bug me again, kid, I'll make some with your family jewels.
No, man, that won't be necessary.
You'd make some great sausage, too.
See you later.
Good riddance, kid.
Why, you... Oh! Come on, Joshua. Your boy.
Delicious. What's for dessert?
Hey, what about that password?
Yes, I remember.
Where are you going?
Yahoo! Oh la la!
I'm starving.
Ah.
Look at the mess this wacko got us into. Well, at least it stopped snowing. That's better than nothing. Maybe I should have kept my big mouth shut. That's one of those doohickeys they use to drag heavy things with. The cable is released, then pulled in by a small motor. I think it's called a winch. Hey, I could use it to tow Joshua to shore. I hope I can get it to work. I was afraid of this. The battery is dead. It won't work unless I get the pickup truck started first. Yeah, if I get the engine to start, the winch will work. We're in luck. The key is in the ignition. It won't start. I guess I was asking for a miracle. It's got gasoline for sure, and the battery light hasn't come on, so there must be something wrong with the engine. I'm not much of an auto mechanic, but it can't hurt to open up the hood and take a look-see. How weird. There's no sign of the rod used to hold up the hood. The hockey stick may be too long, but it could work, though it would be better if I take off the bear claw first. Perfect. Now I can take a good look at the engine. Okay, let's see if I can figure out why it won't start. One thing's for sure, it doesn't have any spark plugs. Yeah, I could use the knife as a screwdriver in order to remove the spark plug from the chainsaw. Presto! Now I've got a spark plug. Let's see if I can put it in right. Done. Hopefully the engine will work now. No way! This is going to be impossible unless I get the engine running beforehand. Cross your fingers. Sweet! Let's hope the winch will work. Yes! Let's get this nightmare over with. Joshua, pay attention! Grab it! I've got to get that nutcase off the icy lake. Perfect, this is working.
I'll get Joshua's monk outfit from the shelter.
He should be wearing it when we go to Professor Simon's house. If they see him in his regular clothes, they won't let us in, even with the password. Here, Joshua. Well, here we go.
The man who knows does not speak.
The man who speaks doesn't know.
Come in. Don't be afraid of the dogs.
Come on, chop chop.
What about those mutts?
Those barking dogs? Just one of Simon's MP3s. And I thought I wouldn't live to tell the story, but I had a stroke of luck and managed to escape through the amoeba.
My dear friend, you've displayed some exemplary courage by confronting Kordsmeyer. And as for you...
My name is Joshua, and I'm starving.
I see. Alpha spoke to me of you, the human who lives among Trantorians. You are quite lucky.
My stomach's growling with hunger.
As is mine, dear friend. Though it's the hunger for knowledge which makes us scientists.
I think my legs are going to give out.
Joshua, we're short on time, and I haven't even figured out what those Trantorians are doing here.
You are new to the field, then. Please, take a seat. Trantor, an ancient and distinguished planet, more than 60 light eons from our own.
Let me tell you, if you thought the walk up here was far...
Its inhabitants had already dominated quantum technology before the first single-celled being sprouted to life on Earth.
What he means is they already had some awesome wares running when our ancestors were riding in time.
They learned to model the space-time continuum at their whim, to leap from galaxy to galaxy, to alight onto dimensional vortices in a purely tangential manner.
You know what? their travel budget was out of this world.
Their telepathic mastery is such that they could dispense with their mere physical presence, should that be their whim.
Dude, not even Scullery thought of that.
As you are aware, their civilization is beyond ours by an exponentially awe-inspiring amount.
They do seem to be pretty quick.
They could effortlessly make slaves of whole solar systems and shrink them infinitesimally with nothing but a thought.
Their brains could fry our sorry bodies into a heap of atoms. Boggles the mind, huh?
Yet all that seems to interest them is an intergalactic zoo.
He means the only... A what?
A zoo?
Fascinating, is it not? They trek throughout the universe collecting animals and take them to a planet 3 times larger than Earth. An immense zoological collection where ecosystems from extremely distant galaxies and eras coexist. During the journey, they put the animal into an induced slumber which they refer to as the dream.
Sounds like they've been keeping some info from me.
Furthermore, they've been coming to Earth since the dawn of time, and though they actually need no one, they have made us all stakeholders in their enterprise.
The truth is, I don't quite get it.
A time came at which Earth's technological development made it difficult for Trantorians to go unnoticed, and therefore they contacted our most eminent scientists to reach an agreement. We would protect them when visiting, conceal them from the public eye, and supply them with animals. In exchange, they would provide us with some of their knowledge and most advanced technology.
What a deal!
Yes, my friend. Don't you find it unbelievable that mankind has carried out the technological revolution of the 20th century with no help? Had Trantor failed to furnish us with knowledge, theories, and prototypes, we would never have gotten so far. Think of heretofore unconceivable vaccines, the space race, or even the vacuum tubes in the first computer. And you are thinking of Trantor.
I knew that. And the first jelly-filled donut. They told me so.
Astounding, isn't it? As I was saying, we trade animals for wisdom. The Earthling entity responsible for coordinating these efforts is the Contactors International Agency, of which I myself was a member until recently.
Until Kordsmeyer appeared, I suppose.
Precisely, during the dream of the platypus. We were waiting for the Trantorians in a cave in Kubapeti, Australia, when the rocks in the ceiling started raining down on us. It looked like our days were numbered. Right at that moment, a Trantorian appeared through an amoeba point carrying a small sphere in his hand. The NG-0, an antiparticle generator that reduces all sorts of matter to nothing. He raised it up and aimed it at the rocks, and they disappeared instantaneously, as if they'd never existed. Since then, Kordsmeyer has been awfully interested in the NG-0. He even ordered me to ask the Trantorians for it. When I refused, he tried to have me eliminated. So I was forced to leave my position and flee to this dull hideout, surrounded by safety measures with passwords known only by Alpha, Trantor's High Commissioner for Earthling Affairs, and now you, of course.
So what we know is that Kordsmeyer has managed to get a Trantorian spaceship into trouble. At least enough for it to risk sending a message through Joshua.
Whoops! With all this chit-chat, I forgot about the message. Yes, Simon.
What is that?
Let us join hands, and then you will see.
Joshua put a lid on it.
Man!
Silence!
Trantor's High Commissioner for Earthling Affairs with the human name Alpha. Scientific Craft 317, Milky Way 28 Solar 1. Mission, The Dream of the Turtle. Date, 3/89/7/28/24, Onion 14/7. Hello. Professor James Simon, we require your help once again. Our head chef has stolen the Trentonite from our ship, both the current and spare Trentonite stones, and has given it to the military. Colonel Nathaniel H. Kurtzmeyer will only return them to us if we exchange it for something you call the NG0. We do not want to give it up, but as you know, Trentonite forms part of our very essence, and we cannot survive far from it. As you know, we cannot even breathe long without it. And as if that were not enough, yesterday we found a seriously injured human at the bottom of Tiki Lake, where our ship is located.
Gina! She's alive!
According to our moral code, we were required to help her. Under normal conditions, we would have cured her immediately, but without the Trentonite, we can do nothing more than keep her in a dreamlike state. And that is depleting the little energy we have available. Nonetheless, one chance for salvation still remains. Professor James Simon. Centuries ago, one of our reconnaissance ships crashed near the city now known as Palenque. And the Trentonite kept on board may still be in that area. Professor James Simon, find it and a way to bring it to us. And some of the local onion soup. Every can of senior onion you can muster. Please.
Professor Simon, are you okay?
Just give me a minute or two. I need to warm up.
Aren't you hungry too?
Holy smokes! We have to keep the Trantorians from giving the NG0 to Kordsmeyer for sure. In the wrong hands, that weapon could destroy a city the size of Los Angeles in tenths of a second. Dear friends, we must travel to Palenque to find the Trentonite immediately, or we can begin to say farewell to the world as we know it.
You can count on me, Professor. And on Joshua, of course.
I bet you're just real hungry, Professor Simon. Hey, why don't we call that sushi guy?
Good thinking. May I use your phone?
It isn't a safe way to communicate, given the circumstances. Do you mind if I ask why?
I know of a friend who could help us out. Someone we fully trust.
Magnificent. Then I recommend you sit at my laptop computer and use the impenetrable ultra-safe crypto chat. Provided that your friend is online at this very moment, that is.
Don't worry. If there were one person online in the whole world, it'd be Sushi Douglas.
Well, I am clueless about the online chatting. Of course, since Trantor's all about telepathic talk.
Hey, Sushi, are you there?
Do you mean that the Trantorians don't have the internet? How do you think Alpha informs us of trading dates, if not by email? In fact, after reading their email, we type in www.planet-trantor.com and we enter our code so that they will provide us with the details of the transaction.
I'm totally out of the loop. Nobody told me about any of this.
You leave me in awe, my dear friend. If not, where do you believe the network of all networks was designed? In the mind of a simple human? No, it was them who showed us how to build it and use it. What I've never understood is how they get online from other solar systems. I don't know. Perhaps they use neutrino transducers, like in that splendid novel by William Garza.
Have you got that one? That book must have gotten at least 5 stars. You wouldn't happen to have anything by Sarah Martin, would you?
Nathan?
What's up, doll? Think you'll ever find our little pest?
Hush, hush, soldier boy. My spiderweb is about to strangle both him and the monk. And it looks like we got 3 for the price of 2. Your old pal Simon's here.
Simon? Ha! I knew I'd end up catching him. Overeducated scientist. Anyway, make him vanish and come to Mala pronto, lady.
Have you already gotten the real Pignon to cooperate?
I know how to make up his mind. The clock's ticking before the big event.
K. Dick, all of Asimov, and of course Brian Scullery's complete works.
Yuck! What are you doing with that gossipy pulp in your library?
Allow me to tell you a secret. If you tug on the 3rd volume of his infamous UFO Lies and the Houdini Legacy, you'll see something open up before your feet.
At Simon's house. And that's where my story ends, for now.
Sounds like quite an adventure, but you can count on me. What do you want me to do?
Think about it, shrimp. While you pull the trigger, I'll stick my finger up the barrel. My fingers get blown off, but the force of the opposite reaction will make the bullet shoot backwards, at a speed 9 times faster. It'll blow up the gun and your face will get erased.
Seriously?
I knew you were an idiot.
I'm gonna kill him!
No one ordered you to do it, 13. They're not paying you for this one. It's the ones inside they want.
Well, get a move on before my Christmas shopping begins.
Did that spy from Hawaii turn up yet?
Not yet, Tarantula.
This is getting a bit tiresome. They've been in there for hours. All right, 18. Finish off the other 2. Then we'll go in and get the spy.
Which one should I take out first? The clown?
No, the old geezer's more important. What are you waiting for?
Houdini's legacy, Joshua. Brian, go after him.
What about you?
I'll be fine. Everything depends on you now. Run!
But
jump for Pete's sake! Find that stone! Find it!
Pull that
Brian? Are you there? Brian? Something's wrong. We have to leave immediately. Saturn, we're going on a trip. Brian's in trouble.
BB in trouble? Give me 5 minutes.
You're not leaving me here, are you, man?
And bring your best equipment. We may need it.
4 minutes.
I'll go grab some equipment too, but the good stuff. You're gonna fly when you see it, man.